Hey YouTube, thanks for coming back to my channel, your fave nurse B. So today I'm going to talk about something that I get a lot, whether it be on YouTube, on the internet, or just in person from a lot of people that I work with or just come across, is basically how do you get into nursing school? Like, what do you do to get into nursing school? How to prepare, all that such and such here and there. So basically, the number one thing I would say do is, and probably the most simplest thing, is to look at the requirements for that school. I know, duh, but so many times people think, okay, I just go off, talk to the people at the school and do this. Go on the website. In this day and age, just go on the website. There's usually a checklist of things that you have to do. Print that out for yourself and just sit there and literally check off everything that you have to do. Everything. So a lot of times you have to either have a high school diploma or a GED. So what I did personally is I got my GED. Got my GED. Another thing that they asked for was we had to take testing. So I know a lot of people get really stressed out about the math part of the test. Like, they're like, I'm good with everything else except for the math. Like, yeah, like everybody has trouble with math pretty much, you know? So anywho, the best thing to do is to get a GED book, or nowadays they call it high seats, whatever. Get one of those books, and this is what you do. You get the book. There's usually about 2 tests in the back of the book. You do the test. You don't do any studying. You just do the test. Time yourself. That's the most important thing to do, because guess what? They're going to time yourself. They're going to time you when you do the actual test. So time yourself doing it. Sit down, sit up, carve out some time out of your life. Throw the kids somewhere, throw your man somewhere, your girl somewhere. Sit down, focus on what you're doing, put your phone away, and just sit down and do the test as if you were sitting there at the testing site doing the test. So sit there, do the test, time yourself, get through it, and then go through and see what you got wrong. So you might get do really well on geometry, but you have some issues with, like, say, like I don't know, like percentages or fractions or something like that. So once you figure out where you need to focus on, go back in the book, the GED book, under the math section, and study those sections. Give yourself, at the very, very least, at least 1 hour a day. I would say for about 2 weeks. Focus on those sections. Now, of course, you can go, if you pretty much did bad in all the sections, do that, and then go through the book and do it, and look at YouTube. I mean, like, YouTube is such a huge platform to learn anything that you want to learn. You can easily learn basics of math for, you know, getting into nursing school. The math is all the same no matter what you do. Math does not change, you know, basically. So do that, time yourself doing it, and get through that section. Then go back after, you know, a week or 2 of focusing on it for at least 1 hour. If you can get to 2 hours a day, that's awesome. And go back, take the test again. So there's 2 tests. So I would say do the second test, take that again, and see how you did on that. See, okay, man, like, I did really good on this part, but I need to go back and look at this section. So do that. Kind of go back and forth with things, and just really take your time and give yourself, you know, at least I would say, well, for me personally, getting into nursing school, I personally, I'm gonna tell y'all real quick, with me going into nursing school, it was, long story short, basically I took the test in January. Everything was due by like the mid-February, and then I heard about getting in like 2 weeks before school started or something like that. Like, I was kind of like within 35 days of when the class was supposed to start is when I started, you know, or before things were due was when I started. So I kind of came on the tail end of it, and I was rushing to get everything done, but I got it done. And I kind of had to force myself to study for the test. And one thing, when you and I tell this to anybody, don't just sit there and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take the test, put some money on it. As soon as you if you're anything like me, if you got any type of sense of, oh my goodness, I'm letting go of my money, put some money on something, and trust and believe you're gonna put forth way more effort versus you just saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. No, put the money down on it, set that date, pay for it, and then you pretty much force yourself to study. Because I was just like, I'm not gonna waste my money. Well, really, my mom was like, I'll give you the money for the test. Like, I'm gonna be for real. She was like, I'll give you the money for the test, take the test, do it. So that's exactly what I did. I was like, I can't, and even my I was like, I can't let my mom down because I'm using her money to take this test, and I would feel like, dang, like I took this money from her to take this test, and here I am not even studying for it. Like, really, seriously? So I kind of like made myself do it. And that's with anything in life, you have to just make yourself do it. So put your money down on it, set the date, give yourself some time. I think I gave myself like 2 weeks to study, and I did it, and I got what I needed to get in. And also the same, you know, maybe look over the English too, because you might put so much emphasis on the math and really you need a little bit of help with your grammar or spelling or pronunciation or whatever. Well, not pronunciation, but anything English wise that you need to get to work on. So look at that too. So another tip would be, so do that. That's how you, as far as tackling the testing, that's how I will go. That's how I went about doing it. Time yourself, give yourself time to do it and actually test yourself and look at, there's so many resources out here to help you get through that section, that part of getting into nursing school. So that's the testing part. I know that's like probably the biggest thing of getting into school is the testing. So don't let yourself get crazy about it. Just look at it logically and get it done. So the next thing I would do is, of course, look at deadlines. Look on the website for deadlines. I'll look on the website, get an understanding from that, and then I even call. And I know they get tired of people calling them because they be like, well, you know, on our website, you can look and you'll see the dates and everything. I don't care. I want to know from the website, and I want to know from you. I want to be for sure. And I might call back another day and try to talk to somebody else and ask them just to be for sure about deadlines, because that could screw you up. That could set you back so many months of getting into school. The same with you just, I've heard so many, back to testing. I've heard so many people say, oh, I took the test, I couldn't even get in. I'd be like, so did you like study for the test? No. That makes no sense. Like, I don't get it. Study for the test, y'all. And if you one of them people that didn't study for the test, why? Shame on you. But anywho, look at the deadlines, talk to the people at the school, be all up in there, do what you got to do to find out and make sure that you're on top of deadlines. Another thing I would say is to try to have a good professional rapport with people. So with me, the school I went to, you had to have 3 professional references. So it was very good that I was not an LPN. I was a CNA at the time working at my job. I had been there for about maybe 2 years, and I had the nurse that I first started working with, I had him write a reference for me, as well as the instructor that I had for my CNA class. I had her do a reference for me, and I had the HR at my job do a reference. She actually hired me. So, you know, when you're working somewhere, just try to, of course, you want to be professional, and you want to, it looks good to have, you know, a nurse that's been working there for years as a reference. I had the educator there, and I had the HR person, and the person who did my interview at the school, the nursing school that I went to, she actually knew the HR person at my job. So I mean, it was like, wow. So try to really network and have a good pool of professional people who see you in a good light. And one of my teachers told me, she was like, make sure you all look at who you're giving your references to, because she said there was somebody, like, basically a student had asked a teacher or somebody to do a reference for them, and they basically did a negative reference. Like, they was like, this person is you know, not professional, blah blah blah. So watch who you're letting do your, you know, your references, because they might not have your best interest at heart, and they might be a little too honest, you feel me? So make sure that you you do your best to get, you know, good references as far as school. I know some schools, they make you write a letter. The RN program that I tried to get into, I did a letter for them. Something happened. I don't know what's going on with, I don't know what's going on with this school as for their accreditation and stuff. It seems a little, but anywho, I still apply, but it's just, it's too much going on. But anywho, they require you to do a letter to get in. So basically they just want to know, like, why you want to be there, da 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 da, blah 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 blah. write the letter, have somebody you know that's really good at writing or editing look over it. There's a lot of help online to help you write letters. Just, I know it sucks and you kind of just be like, oh, that's when I was just like, oh my goodness, I do not feel like doing this letter. This is so stupid. But I actually sat down and I thought about, okay, why do I want to be an RN? What is this going to do for me? Because usually they're like, why do you want to be an RN and why do you want to come to our school? They just want to make sure that you have some type of, I guess, the ability to sit down and think and put it in words. I don't know. Maybe they want to see your personality show through. So you can highlight different things at your job that helps you, mistakes that you made and how you were able to, you know, change those mistakes or whatever the case may be, make them better. You can write about, you know, things that you've heard about that school. You can write about experiences that you've had that led you to believe that you wanted to be a nurse. Whatever the case may be, just be genuine, be yourself, and have somebody look over it just to make sure that it flows well. So that's pretty much the things I would say to help you to get into school. So just to recap, find out what it is exactly that you need to do to get into the school. Pay attention to the deadlines for the school. As far as testing, just make sure that you prepare yourself, give yourself enough time, and put some money on it, baby, and you will get it done. Trust me. And for the letter, just be genuine, be yourself, and, you know, just really show, like, why do you want to be an RN? Why do you want to be an LPN? Why do you want to do this? And just be honest with yourself. And really, in me writing my letter, I was just like, you know what? This really is something that I want to do. It's crazy. Like, wow. So the program I was in was tech school, and you didn't have to have any prerequisites to get in. But I know there are some schools out there, especially if you're going for an RN program, you definitely need to have prerequisites. So that's like a whole nother video. But basically the thing is you want to basically just get as high on those in those classes as possible, A's and B's pretty much, to get into any program. For the most part, one of the requirements might be that you have to have like at least like maybe like a 3.5 or at least like a 3.0. I think most schools are like maybe like a 2.5, but you want to try to get as high as possible because that's what a lot of schools look at. But ask the school. Here's the thing. Ask the school, what do you look at as far as choosing your applicants? I thought, for one school I was going towards, I thought that you had to like test the highest that you wanted to get. Like you had to be at the top. And really they were just like pretty much first come, first served. I'm like, what? Like, what school does it? Like, that's great. But here I am taking forever to get things done, thinking that I'll get in because my scores are higher. But in reality, I should just be trying to get in I should just be trying to throw everything together as quickly as possible. So ask the school and see, what is it that you all look for most? Is it the grades, or is it as far as the timing? And for the most part, they'll tell you. Like, I don't see why they wouldn't tell you. Maybe they don't want you to get in. Like, I don't get why they wouldn't tell you, but ask them, and then that kind of can help you to prioritize how you want to go ahead and apply for the school. So back to prerequisites. Get as high as you can. Make sure you look at what prerequisites are required for that course. For the most part, depending on nursing programs, so you'll have to get like A&P done, and then you can do A&P too, like while you're in the program. So, but I would suggest, if you can, as far as your timing, get as much as your prerequisites done. So basically, prerequisites is the things that you have to do prior to getting into the school. Then you have co-requisites, which are classes that you can take while you're doing your regular nursing classes. So you'll have your nursing classes, then you'll have like a co-requisite, could probably be like A&P 2, anatomy and physiology 2. I know I've seen a school where biomedical ethics is a co-requisite. So here you are taking these nursing courses, and if you've never been in nursing school, focusing on just nursing classes is enough. On top of having to take another class that you could have took way back in the day before you started your nursing program. So look at that too, because here you are, you might be looking to get into a school, and as far as like the deadlines or how things are placed, you might have like about 6 months where you're pretty much doing nothing except for waiting to see if you get into the school. So because you might have all your prerequisites done, and you just got a little bit of time before, you know, the next semester starts or whatever the case may be, before you can get into that school. So during that time, you might want to go ahead and get some of your co-requisites done. So look at that. You have to really look at, for me, look at what, if it's not a technical school. So here I am looking to get into an RN program as an LPN. So I look, and I can do a video if you all want, like as far as like looking at the classes and exactly like how you should kind of plan out yours. I'll do that. But let me know if you all want that, like a video to show how to look at what they require and then how to plan out your semesters. Like, okay, these classes go good together, so I'm gonna take these, blah 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 blah. Yeah, let me know if you'd be interested in seeing a video like that. But anywho, look at that, see what's required before you get in. Try to get as high on those classes as possible. But most importantly, I know for me, like, I can get a high grade in the class without learning anything. So not only do you want to get a high grade, but you really want to make sure that you give the time to understand it, especially anatomy and physiology. You must understand that before you go into a nursing program. Do not play around with that, because you're working with, I don't know, the human body. So it's really important to learn about the human body, and you first learn about that in anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, honey. So really put your time into learning those subjects. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about prerequisites, and let me know if you want to see a second video about that. So I hope that helps. It's just my take on how to get into nursing school. I hope it helps. If you have any more questions, please put them in the comments section. Also, if you haven't already seen my other channel, Stay Forever True, go ahead and check that out. It's more like me personally, as far as like my diet and my hair and all that good stuff. So yeah, hope this helped. Thanks for watching. Peace.